Well, for the International Indian Treaty Council, it's important for us here at COP23 to raise the visibility of Indigenous peoples' traditional knowledge and to be sure that the traditional knowledge holders themselves have a voice and whose voices are heard here in the negotiations and the intended development of the Indigenous peoples and local knowledge platform that was one of the agreements of Paris in operative paragraph 135. I think it's very important that not only in the facilitative dialogue, but in the nationally determined commitments of parties, that there is full and effective participation of Indigenous peoples at the national level and within any kind of planning and processes moving forward to deal with the global climate crisis. Here, I think, again, the full and effective participation of Indigenous peoples at the national level is important. There needs to be a general awareness raising about the process on the national level, and that means communities, Indigenous communities, local communities, they have to be more engaged in the process, and that engagement needs to be based on, at least for Indigenous peoples, that engagement needs to be based on the guidelines set in the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. As Indigenous peoples, we don't want to be seen as just vulnerable groups, but real partners in the process moving forward to deal with the climate crisis, to find the actual solutions. For example, in North America, we've found that reintroduction of the buffalo is actually a way to mitigate the climate crisis because buffalo themselves, the way they graze, they don't graze in the same way as cattle does. And we saw that there was one example where there was a great snowstorm in one of the states, and most all the cattle died, but the buffalo didn't. And so these are just small examples. There's other ones where our knowledge of working with fish, etc., can also help. So I think that the main point is that Indigenous peoples, traditional knowledge, the traditional knowledge holders need to be a part of the process. And for that to happen, our rights need to be respected.